speaking of that night, that was when I first blew Greg. But it wasn't like a full
Greg.
I know. I always tell myself, travel more, open a savings account, and don't blow Greg at the parking lot of the Cheesecake Factory. But guess what? We were there. The bachelorette party had taken a turn.
Right.
But
I remember.
you sleeping with bean and cheese burrito breath is like one thing. Try blowing Greg while having beans in your fucking mouth still.
So they're just like flying around in there?
Oh, let's just say I hope he took a shower because he's got a we call him Beaner now, which sounds racist, but it's because he has a bean wiener.
Hey, it's Herbert. And you're listening to the About Last Night podcast, you slippery little son of a bitch.
About last night.
Well, you got to call your dad if you're going to look like that. Good to see you, Steven. Who the fuck was that? Guys, Adam Ray here. Welcome back to the About Last Night podcast. You know where you are. Thanks for coming. If you're new to the show, click subscribe right here so you can get all the goodies, the clips, the episodes every Monday. That's where we're dropping. That's why we're dropping, because you guys are here for a good laugh and a good time and an escape from the chaotic world and the Titanic extravaganzas that people keep trying to go see when they got too much money and too much downtime. Today's episode is a good one. I can't wait for you guys to watch it, listen to it. Of course, subscribe on Spotify and iTunes if you want to get your ears penetrated by the program that way. This weekend, I'm going to be doing stand-up in St. Petersburg, Florida at Coastal Creative. 2 shows, Friday and Saturday, September 8th and September 9th. Come out and see your boy. And then I'll be at the Mothership next week in Austin. I'll be in Philly, September 14th through the 16th at the Punchline. And then I'll be shooting my next stand-up special at Comedy on State in Madison, Wisconsin, September 21st to the 23rd. Cannot wait. Come out and see your boy. Tickets for all those shows at adamraycomedy.com. If you haven't seen my new special, Adam Ray Live from Portland, that's on my YouTube page right there. Go check that out. A lot of fun. A lot of material you won't see in the new special, and very proud of it. Go check it out. My boy Randall Lawrence shot and directed and edited it, and I'm pumped for you guys to see it. Also check out the Dr. Phil Live with Bill Burr at the Comedy Store. Check that out on my YouTube page as well. Bill and I are already talking about doing a second sequel to it and running it back, so stay tuned for that. Today's episode, one of my best friends in comedy, one of my longest friends, consider her a sister. She's so funny, so sweet, and we laughed so much in this episode. I cried in talking about her time on SNL. It's Melissa Villaseñor. You know her, you love her. You've seen her on Frank TV, Conan, Netflix, HBO's Crashing, Family Guy, and of course her stint on SNL where she crushed it, doing so many great impressions and characters. We talked about a lot of great SNL stories, her time on the show, reflecting on it now that she's been away from the show for a year now, and really special. We laughed a lot. We got these 2 ditzy girl characters that we fucked around with a lot. Melissa and I had done so many gigs from back in the day that were fun to reminisce and bring back. And it was just a really sweet episode. It flowed by. We did about an hour and 15 minutes, and it went by in a heartbeat. So enjoy this episode. Go see Melissa on the road. She's doing stand-up everywhere. Melissa, I think, villaseñor.com for tickets. Melissa V Comedy on Instagram for all her updates and posts there. Of course, I'm on Twitter, Instagram, and Threads at Adam Ray Comedy. Of course, subscribe on YouTube to the podcast and my YouTube channel where you can see the special live from Portland and the Bill Burr Dr. Phil special. And of course, come see me, Madison, Wisconsin, September 21st through the 23rd at Comedy on Stage. Shoot my next comedy special. I can't wait. And all my tour dates at adamraycomedy.com. I got some dates with Sal Volcano coming up and Matt Rife all through 2023. Cannot wait. Come out and see a show. And I think that's it. Merch at adamraycomedy.com. Look at this. Shirts, hats. Look at all that. We got some pins as well. Come out and see me live. Thanks for subscribing to the podcast. I got some podcast appearances coming up on Whiskey Ginger and Take Your Shoes Off and Kill Tony coming up. So I guess just stay tuned for more free comedy. All right, come to a show. I love you guys. And enjoy today's episode with the very funny, the great, my good buddy, Melissa Villaseñor. We are blessed to have, I genuinely like I want to watch everything you do. And
I just
okay.
can't. It's
Oh,
I
look
know
at
it
those
looks cool,
gorgeous
but
eyes.
I have to. That's just something
Yeah,
like that.
easier to connect.
Yeah.
Well, I appreciate you watching them. Did you watch them last night, just back to back?
Well, the Dr. Phil one I watched last night, and then on the rainy day on Sunday I watched your Portland one.
Oh, cool.
Man,
It's fun, right?
you're just a pro.
What stood out? Because specifics helped me feel like I'm on the right track. Was there something that in the stand-up special that you were like, oh, that was a fun thing, that made me laugh, or that was silly, or that was vintage you?
Well, Pickles getting high.
Yeah.
That was real fun.
Yeah.
I mean, there were a lot of them. But last night, I guess I'm just still in my head with the Dr. Phil and Bill Burr. When he was like, he was a real cowboy in the casino, and you're like, oh yeah, the fake ones, and he was like, no, he was real, and you go, oh, the way I don't know, and then it was just great.
He was down to play,
so
right?
Good.
Yeah, we'll have to
And
do.
then
You'll have
we'll
to.
be right back, and
And then him going, yeah, I just picture you orgasming and just saying, we'll be right back. He's such a
Man.
caricature to me. Are there people like that you, when you first started doing impressions, where you were like for Dr. Phil, I immediately started doing the voice.
You're such a good impressionist too.
But I
or like cartoonies.
Yeah, but his voice just came easy for me. So I think you are a true pro in the sense of like you work on, you find things, you fine tune, you workshop, you play around with it. It either has to, and I'm sure over time from doing it, but I think the first time I did the voice, I go, oh, I feel like that comes naturally enough for me to do it again. I didn't, if I had to work on it, I don't think I'd be doing it. Does that make sense? It just felt like I could do it right away, so I did it.
Oh, yeah.
But there's ones where that you've mastered, but you worked on them. You know, where
Right.
you're like, oh, I've got this, but now let me actually work on it, like you should.
Yeah.
But is there one that you started doing that you were like, oh, right out of the gate, I know, like maybe Owen Wilson?
Probably.
Yeah.
Well, no, but I started. I mean, yeah, Owen was pretty quick to.
Yeah.
But when I was doing open mics at the Haha, I was 17 years old, and I was sharing.
I forget you started that young.
Yeah, and I was sharing the Owen impression then, and the crowd didn't know who he was yet. It was that early in time. I know.
Wait, I thought Owen Wilson's been like a staple of American cinema for a while.
I felt like Meet the Parents, Zoolander. That's kind of when he's.
Wow.
Barely started. You know, like
that's pre-Marley and Me. That's pre.
Yeah, very early.
Yeah, you forget to Meet the Parents. He was just kind of a supporting role.
But he stole it.
He did.
God.
He's the perfect guy to get under Ben Stiller's skin. What does he say to the? He's bragging about working in the Peace Corps, right? Or like
Or
he just it's all the things we're doing with these animals. He just was doing all the shit that makes a guy jealous. You know.
Yeah. God, she was such a tomcat, right? Such a tomcat in bed.
Oh yeah, talking about and then would just trail off, and so it's like
that was like the first. Like no one's like him.
There is only one Owen Wilson. Truly,
I remember. Okay, so when he hosted SNL, I've been sharing this on stage, but like people, my fans were like, "What the hell? Why didn't Melissa do her Owen impression with Owen?"
Yes.
And the truth is, I actually did approach him, and I was like, "Owen, don't you think you and me, huh?" And then he's like, no, you know what? I feel like, I think it's done, you know? I feel like people are tired of the Owen Wows and stuff. You know? And I was like, I don't think they're tired.
You're like,
Owen.
just you saying this, man, makes me want to do it. They're not tired. Did you do it back to him or no? Had he just hit it?
No, I kind of was just like, oh, okay,
Yeah.
I understand.
Yeah.
Some people are sensitive too.
Isn't it crazy? Do people do impressions of you?
Oh, yeah.
And how do you take it?
I love it.
Yeah.
I'll pee my pants laughing. I love it.
Wow, it's such a
It's
weird
just
thing
the
to get
best.
upset about that.
But I think it's because we're comedians. I think we forget. That's what
He's
when
an
I
actor.
realized he's an actor. Because when I was talking to him, I realized, all these comedic roles, he was straight acting. He really wasn't trying to be funny.
No.
I was like,
He's acting. He's Owen Wilson acting, and he's just funny.
so cool.
naturally.
He's so good. And I even watched Midnight in Paris on Sunday. He's so
I
good
love
at
that movie.
it.
That's a great movie.
It's so
Yeah.
good. Because I was working on, I was like, I need movies with French accent because I had this new bit about my guitar teacher and his French girlfriend. And so I was like, I need to work on the accent. So that's why I watch Midnight in Paris, too.
What did your guitar teacher tell you stories about his French girlfriend, or how does that come up?
No, I've been hanging out with them.
Cool.
They're both musicians, and but they're really like beautiful. Did you see the bit the other day I was trying to work on?
No.
They grew strawberries in their garden. They make me meals when I go and hang out with them. And she picked 3 strawberries from the garden. And she's like, here, my listen, 3 strawberries, they grew. And I was like, oh, wow. They're like, everything's real precious and beautiful.
Yeah.
So I take the strawberries, and she's like, go, take them to inside. And then, that's what I'm saying. It sucks. It's such a...
No, that's good.
I don't know.
You got to be close enough. I don't think anybody... I even tried to riff some last night. There's a guy, I was doing the show at Black Rabbit Rose next to Supernova, and there was a guy in the front, and he was disabled, and he brought it up out of nowhere, by the way, and he had a rod for a leg and a cane, and I said something about the video of the Dalai Lama asking the kid to suck his tongue was horrifyingly grotesque. I go, it makes 2 Girls, 1 Cup look like Air Bud 3. And I said, if you haven't seen either one of those feature films, I'd start with Air Bud. I go, the story's better in Cup, but Air Bud's just easier to digest. And then the guy goes, 2 Girls, 1 Cup, is that really a thing? And I go, yeah, it was a thing. And he goes, man, never seen it. And I go, cool. I go, and I'll take it from here. But and then I kind of start going into whatever. And then he goes, and then I go, no, I'm sorry, man. I go, yeah, it's out there. I go, is that something that you're just not into? He goes, no, I'm into everything. I'm disabled. I go, are those 2 things connected, or are you into everything because you're disabled? Or you were disabled and you weren't into a lot, and then you got the metal leg, and now you've broadened your horizons.
Yeah.
And he goes, man, I go to Tijuana a lot. I go, not what I was asking, but let's go into it. And then I go, what do you go there for? He goes, stuff that rhymes with my name, and I go, what's your name? He goes, Lex. And I go, I think we can all put this together. And then I go, and then somebody in the back goes, pencil. And I go, sir, shut up. And then, and then it's a real intimate room. And then so then at the end, basically at the end, I did an impression of Lex going to get a massage in Tijuana. And so I start doing the masseuse, and I go, well, hello, sir. First of all, would you like me to? So I'm doing it. So and then I start doing it. I go, is this a Tijuana accent? I go, I don't know. Don't cancel me. And I'm just trying to do some sort of
something cartoony.
It's like something that's kind of like. So I go, what would you like me to, the parts of the body would you like me to work on first? And I go, and I have him go, my leg. And then I go, okay, do you want me to, now I know one of them is metal, but can you still feel it? Do you want me to like grease it up or something? And he goes, no, that's okay. Just do the one that works. I go, okay. And then I go, anything else you want? He goes, yeah, but I'll have to guess what I want. It rhymes with my name. What's your name? Lex. And then I did a callback to it. But the accent, I was just like, oh, this is not at all a Tijuana accent. But I was like, it was, again, like you're doing with your French, close enough for people to get on board with. And I think people respect the attempt. If it's so bad, but you and I commit so hard, and we also trust in ourselves to be able to know this feels in the vicinity.
Yeah. It's like it's not being mean. You're trying to be,
Yes. It's not malicious. You can tell, like, even.
Yeah, because the whole bit, too, I explain, like, I wish I were that kind of romantic person, because they're both so romantic. They're like, oh, this is great. We could have the strawberries for dinner. This is wonderful. This could be part of our meal. And she's like, yeah, they grew in our garden. I was like, oh, this is wonderful. We have 3 strawberries. And I was like, maybe we should go to Costco.
They have so many types of strawberries at Costco.
No, that's not necessary. You don't have to go to Costco.
The French accent is maybe definitely on the sexier side of accents.
Oh, yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Like, I think you just... I don't want to say people that have British accents, and Australian accents, I definitely find myself paying, like, I'm almost hanging on their every word. French is almost like I'm mesmerized, because I'm just like,
habba.
Yeah. That's my French accent. Is this a French guy? Habla, blah, blah, blah.
No. That's like when you're falling in love. The cartoon. Habba. That's what I was saying.
Oh, yeah, the bug eyes coming out. Do you think anyone's actually ever fallen in love like that? Where did that come from? Who saw a woman who was like,
someone.
And the woman was like, this guy means business. You know, like I don't think if any guy was on a date and he was like, "Oh, look at you, look at your boobies," yeah. She's like, "I'm gonna go," is what would really happen, right? Yeah. But the fact that like somebody,
it came from a cartoon.
It had to have.
Some Looney Tunes.
Some Looney Tunes. Man, Looney Tunes. Isn't it crazy that you look at like my nephew? He's 8. He does not watch cartoons the same way we watch cartoons, and I feel bad for him because I'm like not that I learned life lessons from Looney Tunes.
Well, some.
I'll stop myself. You're right. I learned to never. If I see a sign that's put in the middle of a desert and it says "Go that way," I'm like, "Fuck that." That was put there by a roadrunner.
Yeah, and always touch the walls before you run through them.
Oh my God, that could be a great bit for you. I did learn a lot of things from cartoons.
And also, there were. I mean, a lot of them were pretty dark too. But I loved that Porky Pig episode where the talking dog wants to hang out with Porky, and Porky's like, "Get out of here!" And the dog wants Porky to own him. So then the dog goes on the edge of a bridge and is about to jump.
Jesus.
I know, but that was one of my favorites as a kid. And
Porky's like, bleep, 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 don't.
Stop. And he goes, stop.
No, but Porky's trying to get the words out to tell him to not jump, but he takes so long that the dog just jumps.
And the dog's halfway in the sky, and then he goes back to the bridge like that.
Can you imagine the Porky's like, don't, and the dog's like, what are you trying to say? He's like, don't, and the dog goes, fuck it, and he jumps. He goes, I was trying to tell you to stop, but he couldn't get the words out because he was so. Man, that was probably one of my favorite characters. Him and Foghorn Leghorn. Well, I say.
Oh, the big rooster.
Yeah. Although I feel like he was like racist.
Yeah.
I don't know. He just like the I'll say, boy. Like anybody that says boy.
Yeah.
Like even my stepdad called my dog Pickles boy once, which she's a girl. He still doesn't know she's a girl.
Oh, wow.
I'm like, do I have to like, send you like nudes to like for you to? But he goes.
Pickles is kind of a.
I guess it's an androgynous name, right?
Yeah.
It could go either way.
You know what?
What about Penny? I knew an Aaron Penny in elementary school.
Oh, his last name was Penny?
Yeah.
Wow.
And I knew a Penny from Inspector Gadget, who was a girl.
Yeah, Penny's my dog's name.
Yeah, sweetest pup ever.
She's cute.
She is cute.
And Pickles, too.
Do you ever lay in bed with your dog and go, I don't remember my life without you?
Yeah.
Like, it's crazy.
Yeah.
I've been having some bonding moments with Pickles lately where I'm like, I needed you today.
Yeah.
Which is crazy.
And the way they look at you, it's just like, I feel so safe and.
Yeah.
Like, there's nothing better. I'm okay.
Safe. That being said, if an intruder came in, Pickles wouldn't do shit, and
Penny would.
I'd be like, take her first. No. But there is a sense of I don't know what it is, just their presence. They also are so much smarter than we give them credit for, and intuitive might be the right word.
Yeah.
Now, were you ever a different type of animal kid growing up? My nieces right now are into snakes and other shit, and I'm not okay with it.
Into snakes like that.
Yeah,
no.
I'm not okay with it. I don't want to here to be the reptile kid.
Yeah.
You were into that stuff. Like, remember there like in science class there'd be like a pet hamster. Did you ever have like a class pet or something like that?
No, we didn't have anything.
So what was your intro to animals?
Well, I grew up with dogs in our yard.
Gotcha.
But I didn't like the hyper ones.
Yeah.
I just liked the calm one. We had one named Rosie, a mutt, and she was so calm, and she was my favorite. Then we had a German Shepherd named Roxy. She was fun. And cats. And then we had a big koi pond. That was pretty popular in the 90s, koi ponds.
Okay, hello. Open with that next time. We had a big koi pond.
Yeah.
I've only ever seen those at like Benihana's.
No, we did.
Did you live at a Benihana?
A lot of LA homes it was like part of the thing. You had a koi pond.
Wow.
And there were a lot of Tong's tropical fish stores there was in Whittier.
So you'd go to the tropical fish stores and like add.
Oh yeah. And we would get more fish.
Awesome.
And that was a giant eel we really wanted, but there was no room for that guy.
How big?
I mean, it was.
What the fuck?
Yeah.
That's big. You're like, I mean, how big is a linebacker for the Raiders? 6'8", 240 eel. What? Yeah, no shit, it couldn't fit in your fucking pond. I thought you were gonna be like, it was, No,
it was a big guy.
Wow.
But our kois were. Well, this looks dirty the way I'm doing, but no, but
Yeah, that was my next question. How big was your Koi's dick?
These are.
Anytime you do that, people just go, "Hey, what are you doing?"
I
No.
know.
The Koi, so it was about this big.
They were
Yeah.
pretty big babies.
Wow.
Big boys.
They don't. What do they eat?
I don't know. We just
Fish
we
food.
just fish food. We sprinkled it in there.
I remember we had goldfish, and if you forgot to feed them for like, I think even the guy we got them from at the shop was like, "You don't have to feed them for that long." The guys at pet stores, and that might not even be how he sounds, but as I
That
said,
sounds right.
I work at a pet store. We have goldfish, we have gerbils, we have rats, we have mice, we have rats that have turned into mice because we didn't feed them enough sunlight.
there was always the pet store guy is always like a guy that loves creatures, but talks like a guy that shouldn't be allowed within 15 feet of any creature.
Yeah.
Because he's just like, hey, like, you're
my
my
wife.
wife,
I'm
yeah,
a wife in
you're
the
my
back.
wife, yeah.
Yeah,
What's your Gloria?
Gloria. Yeah,
And my name's
thank you.
Jared.
I'm cleaning all the tubs.
Oh, the tubs. We've got so many tubs of
Yeah.
shit back there.
I
With
gotta separate some because some can't keep their fins off each other.
yeah, we've got dolphins back there, and we've got kois with huge wieners. We're the only shop in Whittier with kois that are circumcised. We would buy goldfish. I remember the guy said you don't have to feed them for like a week and they'll survive. So I didn't feed one of my goldfish. I forgot that we ran out of fish food, and I didn't tell my mom because I was like, "Oh, it'll survive off of air and
sad.
smiles."
I'll just look at him and it'll fill up on camaraderie. And then he this feels like a Theo Von story, doesn't it?
Yeah, we had a goldfish named Tyrone, and he was actually my mom's best
Oh my
friend.
God, he does that.
He's actually my mom's best
Yeah.
friend, and but he would always like come around. He was the first one that we knew that had AIDS.
But that's what the Lord wants, right? He always
Yeah.
says that.
But
well, I guess
God's got a plan.
God's got a plan. That's it. That's it.
Yeah. The Lord wants what the Lord wants, and I'm just. What I try to find out is like where I'm headed, but where I've been, just like that goldfish, Tyrone, prayers up,
So good.
Yeah. And then Joe's like, that's interesting. Yeah.
Wait, who's Joe?
Joe Rogan.
Oh.
Theo makes Joe laugh a lot. Those clips are always,
Oh,
those
never
ones I
watched
always,
ones.
those ones, anytime people that I don't feel like I see laugh a lot laugh, it fills me up.
Oh, yeah.
It's almost like getting a family member that doesn't laugh a lot to laugh. Do you remember the first, here's a question for you.
Yeah.
Do you remember the first family member you made guttural laugh where you were like, ooh, Melissa's got a skill that needs to be taken to the stage? We'll be right back. We'll keep
We'll
it
be
right here.
back.
We'll be right back. Was there a
Can I
time?
have a water? Is
Yeah.
that
Will, do you
possible?
mind? Yeah, I should have offered it.
Oh,
I'm
no,
a
it's
shitty
okay.
host.
It's all right.
Thanks, Will.
Adam.
Do you want sparkling or still?
I'll take a sparkling.
Sparkling it up, Will.
Hell yeah.
Thanks, brother.
Thanks. Thank you.
We also got some Celsius, but they,
What's Celsius?
it's an energy drink. They're not bad. The jitters are a little, yeah.
Yeah, I don't trust that stuff.
Yeah.
What were we talking about?
The first
the
time
first person I made laugh in the family. That's like, wow.
when you were a child and
Nah.
you were finding out that comedy was something you were into, and it was into you. You were both into each other, comedy and Melissa. Who in your family did you make chuckle and you heard it to where you thought, God damn, I love that feeling for her and for me, or for him? Okay? We'll be right back. We'll keep it right here. Who was that?
I think it was my dad.
Cool.
And I think because he would always put on Jim Carrey movies, Ace Ventura, or we would watch old SNL with Chris Farley, and I would just mimic them and make my dad laugh.
Wow. And he had a great
Yeah.
laugh.
Oh,
Has
my
a
dad
great laugh.
still has a great laugh.
Awesome.
It's one of the best.
He really does now that I'm actually thinking of it. I remember
Yeah.
the first time I think I met your folks I actually think was at when you did your Bar Lubitsch show, and I went up there as Tony Danza, and
we
you
sang
were
the Carpenter song.
yeah.
Yeah.
And we did this weird thing in between the instrumental where I just like followed you
following
around
the stage.
and you were so perfect in how you were like subtly like
I gotta get
turning
away
around.
from this man. That was really fun.
That was.
I think you had the video or something.
I do. Yeah, it still might be on my
Yeah.
YouTube. Yeah.
You're so good about filming the shows.
Yeah, try to. I don't know. Some stuff
No,
you know what?
it's high tech, Adam. Even the sliced up ones, or you're on stage and you have the crowd on the bottom. That's
Those do
impressive.
look good. Yeah. Well, you know what it was? I wish there's so many things I didn't tape, and then I got into a point where I was like, oh, I don't need to tape everything. It's a lot of work. I was basically making an excuse. You know, anytime, at least for me, I try to recognize, like, if I'm saying, you don't need to do that. It's like that Mitch Hedberg joke where he's like, sometimes I'll think of a funny joke and I want to write it down, but the pen and the paper is across the room, so then I have to convince myself that what I just thought of isn't funny. So funny.
I know.
But so in that same token, like, I have to go, if I'm recognize that I'm making an excuse to not do it because it feels like a big task. Enough things happened that I was like, oh man, I'm so bummed I didn't capture that. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So I just now try to be good about it. But it is, you know, sometimes it is more work and finances than I would like. But
it's worth it.
But yeah, but like the so your trip to Japan, did you capture anything from that? And first of all, I want to hear all about that. Your photos were amazing, and following your journey on Instagram was great.
Yeah.
What prompted that trip, and take us through it?
I guess I've always wanted to go, and then I had neighbors here who lived next to me, and they moved back, and so I always kept in contact with them. I was like, when will the gates open up for me to travel? Because remember, it was so strict. I mean, everywhere.
Yeah.
For COVID. So once Tom told me, he was like, okay, Melissa, well, they're letting people back in and to travel, and I was like, okay, I'm coming. And so I booked the flight, and 2 weeks. I was hanging out with them a little bit. Then I was on my own a bit in Kyoto, and it was beautiful. And
Who's Tom?
my neighbor, my old neighbor.
Yeah.
He was not that old. I'm saying he was my neighbor in the past.
Right.
Okay.
Your young neighbor in the past, who's now old because it's the future.
yeah. So him and his wife Yuko. Yeah.
Cool.
Yeah.
And
It
so
was
they invite you out. It helps immensely to have a
That's
connect.
the thing.
Yeah.
If I know someone, I'm going.
I love that.
And Adam, I wasn't a travel kid. I hated it. I hated going anywhere. I always liked staying home when I was a kid.
Yeah.
So now things are turning around and changing. And I'm like, let me just go. Let me run. Let me go see this.
I love that.
Because it's like, how else are you going to learn and be,
I would watch
expand,
grow, culture yourself. I would watch the fuck out of a Melissa Villaseñor travel
show?
Have you ever thought about that?
No.
Give me a sec. Sending a quick email to the president of Hollywood. But serious, MV travel show.
That's a good idea.
It's a great idea. People love to watch you do anything. You're so goddamn likable. You're so naturally funny. And you just saying, that's the tagline for the show. If I know someone there, I'm going. So guess what?
You're right.
So
that would be fun.
we sit down and we figure out all these people, like, and whether you know them well or not. Somebody in Alaska, how about a fan that hits you up? You Zoom with them, and you take submissions. Maybe that's how you get into some places you've never been to, because it's, you know, or like for me, I mean, you've been to Seattle, but maybe we figure out the locations, and then we get segment producers together and figure out who knows people in certain places that you could get an intro, and then maybe you Zoom with them so that you have a little rapport, and then you're like, cool, that's who I'm staying
not a creep,
with.
Yeah. And then there could be some creepy ones that are like, definitely not visiting you, sir. Hey, what?
Yeah. But I have a cool pet store in my basement.
Yeah.
Sure you do. How old are you? 25?
I have an eel.
I have an eel. It'll fit in your koi pond if you catch my drift. Wink, wink, vagina. So I think that there's got to be, I think that there's got to be, it's almost like The Voice with the chairs. Maybe you even have, like, you audition people to stay with, and you meet them on Zoom, and they're like, you know, it's like you're going to go to Anchorage, Alaska. Have you ever been to Alaska?
I went once for a college show.
Cool.
University of Anchorage.
Did you do any Alaska stuff?
No, it was snowing. And
Like dog sled or moose hunt?
No,
or?
I just went to a bar.
Cool.
It was nothing but men. There's no women there.
No. I know.
Very, very rare to see one.
I would venture to assume bestiality rates are high.
Oh, yeah. Wait, what's that again?
Bestiality is where,
I don't know all these words.
so you know, like, when a man loves a woman, let's say that woman is gone for a while.
When a man loves a woman.
Keep singing and I'll describe bestiality underneath this. But sometimes the woman is not there, and maybe the man still needs his needs satisfied. So he goes to a barn, he finds a horse, and he fucks the horse.
Okay.
Yeah, that's bestiality.
Oh, I did.
It's
you did
intercourse
okay,
with
that's
creatures.
That's why it rung a bell,
Yeah.
because it was on the Dr. Phil special.
Oh, I
for
think
a
we did talk.
second.
Oh, yeah, we did talk about it.
Yeah.
With the
Yeah.
when we did the improv.
You did the improv. That's why it was in my head, too.
Oh, my God. Yeah, and then at one point I just go, well, why is there horse jizz?
Come on. Horse jizz.
And just Bill being like, did you fuck the horse or did I fuck the horse? Oh, man. Isn't he? How much do you love Bill Burr?
He's the best.
He is.
The
And getting to
best.
know him is like a real treat because you're like, he's such a nice guy.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
he's not a mean guy on stage, but he's there's an attitude to him that
There's
can
an
be
attitude,
intimidating.
But it's like, if you're really listening,
Yes.
man, he's smart.
Yeah.
And he's really like, he makes a good point, and it's hilarious.
And when he smiles, it's very softening.
Yeah.
Which is what I love. I think that's. I don't know if that, I want to ask him that. Let's get him on the phone. If he, I would call him right now, but I think to ask him that, I don't know if that's the question to ask. I think save the phone call. I did butt dial Bill Burr once, and he butt dialed me, and we had been texting, and he never called me on the phone. So I see Bill Burr on the phone, so I go, all right, fucking do this. If I can kind of stretch my shoulders out. I'm like, first phone call from Bill Burr, my favorite comic. I pick up the phone, I hit the thing, and I go, Bill Burr, and I just hear like in the background, and like, butt dialed me. Fuck. And I tell him this, and he goes, oh, God. He goes, you really were a fat kid, weren't you? He goes, your snacks were your friends. I just saw your whole childhood. So funny. So, but his smile, I want to ask if it's deliberate, if he knows that his attitude can come off stern. So, because when he smiles in between bits, it somehow just dilutes any negativity. Like I watched him last night twice do his new hour. I mean,
Oh man, at the store.
no, this Black Rabbit Rose room on next to Supernova. Mark just started doing some shows there. You should hit him up.
Oh, whoa.
You'd love it. Hit him up tonight.
Cool.
I think he'll start doing every Monday. Intimate. It's like a jazz. They do jazz, magic, and then now Mark's starting to do comedy shows. Holds about 60, 70 people.
Oh, that's perfect.
Oh, you would love it. I'm gonna actually loop
Yeah.
you guys after this, so you don't forget. But all right. So Japan. So when you're out there, are you? I love that you're getting so into traveling. Was this kind of like a mood boost for you in that world? Were you so overwhelmed but curious? Like, what was it about Japan that made you go, oh, I want to move and shake a little bit more? I guess, what'd you do? Take me on your days.
So I get there, Osaka, late at night. My friend Tom picks me up from the airport. We take the train, and the train's, I mean, it's quiet everywhere. It's very, very quiet. Everyone's kind of on their phone, and if they are talking, it's very whispery.
That's kind of nice.
I
Isn't
mean,
it?
so at first, okay, very, very nice. Because then I got like this shock of like, wow, the U.S., we're so freaking loud, you know?
We are.
It was like
We
really,
are.
really quiet there. So immediately I was happy about that. And then, I don't know, just the meals are so cute. Like they decorate the plates on, like everything is really pretty. And then I stayed in ryokans, the Japanese traditional hotels. So they bring out the little the blanket and pillow before bed.
Oh, yeah.
It's like on the floor. So it was only like a table, a little TV, and the little futon,
So cool.
and a little pot for hot tea, and then slippers. That was one thing. The cleanliness through the roof. When you bring in your luggage in the hotels, they immediately grab and they clean the wheels on the bottom because they don't want that filth in there.
Yeah.
And like rightfully so. It's nasty out there.
Yeah.
And
In
so
these
now,
streets.
Now I come home when I travel. I'm like, I'm gonna clean this before it goes in my house. Like,
Wow.
And then the chanclas. Well, they don't call them chanclas. I call them chanclas. Chanclitas are everything else. Well, slippers in Spanish.
Chunklets?
Chanclas.
Chunkless.
Chanclas.
That's what they call slippers?
No, I do.
Oh.
My family.
Oh, is that a...
It's Spanish.
Okay. For
Sorry,
slippers.
Yes.
Gotcha.
So I was really excited about the chanclas. So they have chanclas in the restroom. Only for the restroom.
Slippers for the bathroom?
Yes, and then you just leave them in there.
Why?
Because it's a restroom.
Yeah.
It's nasty. You keep your
Don't bring
bring those.
I don't like that you were even around the toilet, let alone using it. But if you are, wear these different poop shoes.
Yes. And then there's a different pair of slippers when you walk in your place.
Cool.
That was
Wow.
cool.
So, okay, so you love the attentiveness to cleanliness.
Yeah, and care.
And care.
And they care about everybody. And I just
Very kind.
very kind. There was I guess there was a moment I was lost at the train. I must have made a face because I was, and someone came up and like, "Do you need help?" And then they helped me, and I was like, "Wow, I didn't even."
Was that your Japanese accent?
No, that wasn't an accent.
Yeah, I'm joking. You didn't do an accent at all. You said it in a very American normal voice. I was joking.
No,
Do you need help? So somebody came up to you. Do you need help?
No, but I have sometimes my head my brain remembers the train station. Oh, I took the bullet train too a few times.
What was that like?
I mean, super fast. My ears were popping.
Oh my God! It goes like what, 1,000 miles an hour?
I think so.
It goes like a fucking
Like, no,
1,000.
it doesn't,
Yeah,
bitch.
it does, bitch. No.
Bitch, it went like 250 miles per hour. That's bad.
Was his name David? Because I've been with a couple bullet trains myself.
I know that night.
Like too fast. Remember that? I remember. Literally, I went into his room, and I think I called you 5 minutes later. I was like, "Bitch, pick me up. I'm done." So now we call him Bullet Train David
Bullet Train
because
David,
he
yeah.
goes 1,000 miles an hour, and
I know,
and it's not a good ride. Like, I think I left my jacket there.
that sucks.
That was my favorite jacket
That was
too.
your favorite jacket. It had crystals on it.
It had crystals on it. I'm a big bedazzler, and you know that. I'm a bedazzler bitch. I'm a bitch bedazzler. However you phrase it, however you say it. I love
bedazzler.
sparkles, bitch bedazzler. I first got into bedazzling. You remember this. I think I texted
remember
you.
that.
It was right when COVID hit.
Yeah.
I was like, I need a fucking hobby.
Yeah. And then I told you, well, go to michaels.com, arts and crafts, and right there on the homepage,
First of all,
Bedazzlement.
bedazzlement. There was a big sign that said bedazzlement, and first of all, I thought it was a new like a new ice cream flavor because I had like put on some weight. It was COVID, so my brain was. Sometimes you're just thinking of sugar.
Yeah.
I saw you were like, go to Michael's. I was like, is that a new fucking steakhouse? And you're like, no, it's a place for arts and crafts. You fucking fat bitch. So, so I saw bedazzlement, and what I love is that you can bedazzle anything.
Yeah.
And this, you told me that. What did you say?
I said,
You can bedazzle anything.
why did that get so funny? It was, oh, man.
Oh my fucking God. Oh
Those
my
girls will
God.
always crack us up. Remember when we went and did that show in La Jolla?
That's where we first started doing that.
I think so.
Yes.
We were driving and we just kept talking like them.
Oh my God. I think you peed your pants in the grocery
I
store.
definitely peed.
That was the first time I
You witnessed the pee
Witnessed
pants, Melissa. Yeah.
also though, I'll be honest, and it was like it's almost like getting, like I said, back to making a family member laugh, making one of your best buds laugh.
That's what I think. I think it's not
No
gross.
part of
I
me
think-
was grossed out.
I
was.
think if
It
I
made me
feel
laugh
like
harder.
That's the thing. I tell people, if you get me to where I'm peeing my pants, consider yourself very funny, and know that you. And now, and it's fun to look back on my life, and I remember when I've laughed the hardest because I have pee on me.
Wow.
So I always remember.
That's, by the way,
That's beautiful.
That's awesome. Because you just change pants as you're sitting here.
Yeah.
The amount of times when people have asked me what's the hardest you've laughed, I wish I could remember. That's definitely one of them. Right there was definitely one of them.
Yeah.
Which I love that's now in the rotation.
Yeah.
A couple times with some buddies in Seattle, but I know there's more, and I wish, because you're a really good laugher and generous laugher, but also you give it up when it's right. And, like Josh Wolf has a great laugh, but there's people like the times where you're truly like can't breathe, I think for me is
That's
I could
the
probably
best.
count on my hands. But I wish I could like remember specifically and tap back or even have footage of it. Like the times when I've been a part of things like that. There's one time with Rick where I was on Rick's podcast and we were high and he pretended to choke on the clip kind of went viral from his podcast from Take Your Shoes Off, and he was like pretending to choke on the smoke, and I was like, oh no, and I was so high and I was like, oh no, and then he looks up and he goes and I go, ah, and he freaked me out, and then he goes, Adam, just kidding, it's me, and I go, no man, the damage is done, you ain't real, and we started crying laughing. And that
That's awesome.
we were laughing so hard and like to like crying and stomach hurting. And that's
the best.
But that's only happened a handful of times. So it's cool that you have something, P or not P, to help you go, I remember when that was.
Yeah.
Are you tired of going to the grocery store? Are you just so bamboozled by how many foods and products there are and you want to eat? You need to eat. It helps to keep you sustained and alive, but you don't know what to make. Well, have no fear. HelloFresh is coming in hot to save the day. Guys, Adam Ray here for the About Last Night podcast. And I'm here to tell you about HelloFresh. You know who they are. They're the #1 America meal kit out there because they've been jamming and rocking and rolling and filling up your tummies and hearts for years. And, you know, they're the go-to spot for pre-portioned ingredients and seasonal recipes. And look, I can't even talk because I'm getting my mouth watering just thinking about all the fun recipes HelloFresh has. They send it right to your doorstep, so you don't have to go to the grocery store. How many times you go to the grocery store, you see some weirdo, some psycho, some serial killer getting paper towels, Tums, and Diet Pepsi. It's like 10 p.m. at night. You're like, dude, what are you doing here by yourself? Save that worry from your life and get HelloFresh because they're sending all that stuff to your door. They make it fun, they make it easy, and it's affordable. My wife and I have been screwing around with HelloFresh for quite some time, and they just make it easy to eat, you know, and that's what you want. Fall's just around the corner, and HelloFresh is here to help you plan for a busy holiday season with tasty dishes sent right to your door. Tasty dishes? I can't talk because I'm thinking about all their damn food. Now, look, if you want wholesome made meals and there's not enough time, HelloFresh will do that for you. All you need is 15 minutes to enjoy a tasty, satisfying meal made in your own kitchen. Just look for their quick and easy dinner options, plus quick breakfasts and lunches as well. Look, it seems like your family's hungry all the time. Well, great. They got snacks, sides, and more. Every HelloFresh order allows you to pick and curate your own little plan. They've got a HelloFresh market. You can take your pick from a curated selection of over 100 add-on items. Parents are going back to school shopping crazy. Let HelloFresh get the groceries for you and save on money and time. Send that stuff right to your door. Life gets busy. HelloFresh is 25% cheaper than takeout, and you don't have to go to the grocery store and make weird eye contact with somebody from your past that you don't know their last name or favorite color of. Right now, if you want to be a part of this amazing meal plan, go to HelloFresh.com/50about and use promo code 50about for 50% off plus free shipping. That's insane. You got to do it. It's the best out there. HelloFresh.com/50about with the promo code 50about to get 50% off your order plus free shipping. You can't get much better than that. HelloFresh is the name of the game. It's how everyone's eating. It's how you're feeling better and living life properly. So do it right now. The meals are great. The snacks are great. It's healthy. And look, you can even lose weight if you're trying to make sure that your portions are appropriate, which HelloFresh is the best in the biz at. So go to HelloFresh.com/50about, promo code 50about, get 50% off your order, and start feeling better. Let's get back to the episode. Were there times on SNL that you experienced that?
I think.
Yeah. Dress rehearsals or live or?
Yeah, I mean, at table reads,
Were those fun?
Sometimes.
Yeah.
Sometimes they're really rough. If your piece didn't get any laughs, you're like,
I've heard universally from people that that's a
it's
nerve-wracking
tough.
experience.
Yeah, but the thing was, for me, I wouldn't hold back my laughs. If something was really funny, I was laughing, and usually it was with Bex. Bex always made me laugh. But I don't know. I feel like on live, I think when Bill Hader was the old guy in the little motorized car.
Oh, yeah.
And he pushed me across the floor. And I was just in my chair just. That was pretty funny.
That shit was funny.
I think when it's unexpected, that's when. Because if you're seeing it scripted, then you're kind of like, But when something happens out of the blue, like, when Sudeikis caught me. Because sometimes I have trouble with words. I don't know if this is something, but I could practice a word saying it the right way, and it will come out wrong. Like, my brain just sees it. It won't correct it.
Yeah.
And so I said a name wrong it was like a kid's classroom, like a science teacher class. And Cecily and Mikey were the two little kids learning, and Sudeikis was the teacher. And they start getting on his nerves. He can't stand these kids. And I come in as a mom, and I call the daughter Lonnie when her name was Lonnie. And Cecily told me, she's like, it's Lonnie, just like, it's Lonnie. So I was like, it's Lonnie. And then on the air, I go, oh, yeah, I'm Lonnie's mom. And he's like, Lonnie? Her name's Lonnie? I thought it was Lonnie. And he caught me, and crowd just lost it, because it was like, but it turned out great.
That's
It was
so
fine.
funny. Yeah. He's a
so
pro.
Stuff like that's so fast.
Yeah. Were there people on the show that you, because once you settled in, I know you definitely felt like, and I remember you telling me this, like, you're like, all right, cool, I'm supposed to be here, like, which I think everyone goes through that. Bill Hader famously talks about season 4. He was like, okay, I think I'm comfy now. Beck even told me, I think season 3 or 4, he was like, I don't know if I'm going back, and because he still was like, you know, so it's just like for everyone's has their own, you know, but the nature of the show, I think, is that where there's just so many levels all the time, highs and lows, to where,
and it's everything all at once.
Right. Was there someone though that you met during your time there that was either in the cast or a guest that I don't know, that ever said something to you or made you feel in a sketch like that kind of brought you into a zone where you were like, oh man, I'm actually not for the first time comfy, but like I'm really feeling like true Melissa. Like I got all my weapons.
It was the Nickelback sketch for sure. The
Cool.
Dying Miss Gomez.
Yes.
Because that was like, that came from my brain. That I mean, to finally get that on a show it's pretty special.
That's a huge victory.
Yeah.
Something that did you write that too?
I wrote it with my friend Steven, but it's that stand-up bit I had a while back. So it's and I was like, wow, they
So
gathered all
gratifying.
the props for it, and it was like, it's
Seeing it
just
come
like,
to life. Yeah, talk about that.
Yeah, that was so cool.
So like, okay, so you pitched it, and did you pitch it and then write it, or no?
No, it was a Tuesday night. I didn't know what to write, and Steven and I shared a room, and Steven was like, well, Steven Castillo, he was a writer there too, and him and I wrote a lot of silly stuff. But it was like really late in the night, and I was like, I guess I'm not submitting anything. Whatever. And then Steven came over, and he was like, hey, should we write your Nickelback sketch as a sketch? And I was like, I guess so. And then we wrote it, just not expecting it. It did so good at table read. We're like, oh my God, it's definitely going on the show.
You knew.
Yeah. Oh yeah. When it's like, it did so good.
Because just everyone laughed, or like was there certain?
People were just
Is Lauren there
cracking
for those?
Oh yeah.
Was he laughing?
Oh yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. There were certain things, and when you see him crack up, you're like, oh, hell yeah.
And so then you're seeing the sets built for it, right? And then you do it at dress. Everyone's fired
It's
up
so
for
magical.
it. Through the week, you're knowing that you have that, so people are going.
But you don't know because it's dress. You have to try everything
Fuck,
out at dress
that's
rehearsal.
right. So it still could get cut.
Absolutely.
Oh my God! What a fucking roller coaster.
It's a roller coaster. That's the thing.
That's like
you're
getting
hanging on.
You bought a ticket for the theme park. You're tall enough to ride the ride, and then as soon as you get on, the guy's like, "By the way, it might break or flip over, or you might fall off.
Exactly.
Have fun."
Exactly. And then it could be real heartbreaking when you see the pics for what's happening in the show, and then you see your set to the left being ripped apart in front of you.
Oh my God! It's like watching your childhood home be burned down.
And then you have to do the live show, be happy, even if you're not in anything.
At the end, and still just.
So that's why it's like such a. But then it always pays off. For me, I always thought I had to like look at things. Like there was one time I did a Lady Gaga sketch and it didn't get picked, and I was pissed. And then when we came back from break, Colin had that idea that I would do it on Update, and it just was like a better situation. It was just a really great piece.
It was the place for it.
Yeah.
It
so
murdered.
then that was like a good lesson of like, oh,
Be patient
because there's something better for it that's holding. If it's holding back, then it's.
That is a great
Good
life
lessons.
lesson too.
Yeah,
where it's just like, because I
sure.
think in all aspects of our business and life, but I feel like
You
our
want to
business,
control everything, but you can't. There's a reason.
there's a reason, and just because something didn't happen then doesn't mean it's not gonna happen.
Yeah.
It's just like
It's just the timing and like what you can handle as a person.
that's so cool.
Yeah.
The Update, was there a different energy from Update to a sketch? Like, was there?
Yeah, because it was like, oh, this is all me. Yeah, it felt. I mean, more closer to stand up too.
That's what I was gonna say. Because it's more, you're really looking at the audience, even though you got your prompter and stuff or your cue cards, but it's more conversational. It's more and it's just you, so it's closer to stand up, right?
Yeah. And I like doing that Caesar character I did on the last season.
Oh yeah.
I had all my family in there too. So
For real?
That was Andy, my brother. Was the character Carlitos that I kept roasting.
Oh,
that was him as a little kid.
God.
Mm-hmm.
How much did your family lose their shit when they'd see you do anything on the show?
They were just
Couldn't believe it.
Yeah, it was pure magic for sure.
Text during the show, after the show.
Oh yeah.
Mom call you after the show to talk about it, or like?
Yeah.
And would you pick up and break it down and like let her?
Oh yeah.
Good.
It was,
you got to, because that's so special for them.
Yeah, huge.
Man.
Yeah. So beautiful.
What a beautiful time. So I hope you really look back at that and go, what the fuck?
Yeah.
It's so cool. It's so special.
Yeah.
Do you know what I'm saying?
I am. Are you tearing up right now?
A little bit, yeah.
Oh.
Yeah. It's really cool. I'm so proud of you that you got to do that. Yeah.
Thanks, Adam. And you were
catching me off guard.
Wow.
Yeah.
No, but you've always been supportive. Even when I remember when I got it, you were so pumped for me, and you and Santino called me, and it was just, it's really beautiful.
You wanted it for so long. It was like a real, true dream.
Yeah.
There's people that get a chance to do it that are like, I was a fan of the show. But, like, I guess just knowing that it was a actual, like, thing on the radar for you from a long time. And you saying you used to watch those things with your dad, like, that's so cool.
I know.
And then to be on the show and walking through the halls. And I talked to you at times when you were high and when you were low. But that's but you never... But I would always get off the phone or see you back in LA or whatever, and you were never like the business also has a way of hardening you up a little bit, right? And I think but you got to go through things like that to get like the thick skin, and you were ready for that. I feel like the SNL highs and lows, I think, from what it sounds like from you and other people I've talked to, are different than because it's so. It's not like having an audition one week and not getting it, and then, well, thank God I got 2 fun shows tonight, kind of wash that away, right? But, like, truly, like you just said, explaining, like, getting a sketch, having it go well, and then knowing it might is no one can relate to that. That's, you know, so you found a way to exist through that, and then still, and be a part of it, and be and for a while. And so to be, like, to you know, and to walk through those halls and know that like you're a part of that institution now is very cool. And to have enough things hit to where people, you know, when what's always cool for me is having friends that are fans of the show that would hit me up about certain things you would do.
Yeah.
And you know, like and want to connect with me over that and go, I remember seeing her at blah blah blah. I'm like, blah, blah. This killed tonight. Just wanting to telling me that through you, you know.
So cool.
Yeah. Very cool.
Aww.
When you went to Japan, you did stand-up.
Yeah, just one night at, have you been to Japan?
Adam Devine and I did a bunch of shows for the troops, and we stopped in Tokyo for 2 nights. We went to a place called the Robot Bar, which is like this underground. I don't know if it's there anymore. It was a really cool, like, just a weird, it was underground thing in a bar, and they had a show that had, like, lasers and strippers and little people, and it was just like, and people in costumes, and it was like, it was a NyQuil dream. It was crazy, but it was very, and we all walked in and they were like, bumpa, like from Pitch Perfect, you know? They knew him from that. And so they asked to take a picture and put him up because it was a thing that a lot of celebs went to.
Yeah.
So they had a lot of famous people up on the wall. And then we went to a couple really cool, you know, authentic sit-down spots and then we found a cool couple dive bars. One that we walked up like 3 flights of stairs, and then it was in the back, almost like this on the back of a...
Was it Golden Guy District?
That sounds familiar.
They're kind of smaller little bars.
Yes.
Where it was once a red light district.
Yes.
That
was cool.
I wanted to hang out there after my shows, but I was starting to feel like I was catching a cold.
Yeah.
So I didn't go, but I performed. It's only been a year old, I think this place was, just Tokyo Comedy Bar.
How was the audience?
It was great. They were sweet. It was a tiny little room, but it was like cool to just say, hey, I did some shows there.
Fuck yeah. Americans in the audience too, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
What's that word? When they travel and live somewhere? There's a word for that.
Will? What's the word for people that travel that are Americans that live... Fuck, this is a bad sentence. What's the word for the people that goes to the place?
It's okay.
No, is it not study abroad or sabbaticals? No.
It's sabbatical.
If you take if you just go live somewhere.
Not sabbatical.
What are you trying?
Whatever. It's okay. Just forget it.
We're not leaving until we figure it out.
No, it's a weird word that made me
Will.
think they're... it's all right.
I think I know what... Yeah.
But anyway.
Well, you love to travel now because of this, and I love that for you.
Yeah, and to be on my own is I'm pretty proud of myself because, I don't know. I like just having my backpack and wandering around a place I don't know.
Haven't you've been pretty good at being by yourself for a minute now, yeah?
Yeah, for sure.
I remember when you first started traveling and headlining.
I remember calling you
Yeah.
and crying so much.
And I was like,
Yeah.
kid, the road ain't what it's all cracked up to be. Yeah, headlining.
Yeah.
I know you've been used to doing 20
Oh
minutes.
my
Get ready
God.
to do 45 minimum. It's like Sebastian's agent. I told Sebastian to do the roller skating bit.
Oh my.
Who does this? Do you have a
Yeah,
Sebastian?
I have a Sebastian if he were bowling. I have to do it standing, of course. It doesn't work. I got the thing. Write down that I got the strike. Oh, it does it automatic. Okay, back in the day, we used to have to write it down to get the bowling point. But I guess it done because I did that. That's it. It's
the
I don't know.
physicality.
I
Oh
have
my
to stand
God.
up though.
Oh, well, yeah. Also,
You
do you
have
do the
to.
big leg kick if he does
Yeah.
the ball? Yeah,
Oh,
of course.
yeah.
Yeah.
I did that twice at dress rehearsal. It didn't go to air, but I remember doing that one at a table read, and it was
Good
so
for
much
you.
fun.
Oh yeah, that's a great SNL sketch because of the physicality of it, right? I think things like
Yeah.
that are always it's a big character that can pop on
such a
screen. You
character.
remember the first time I don't know if you remember the first time you saw Sebastian like live. I was just like, oh man, this might be the funniest guy I've ever seen in my entire life. It was just so. I think he was doing his bit. He was like, you ever go to Rite Aid? There's 2 people working at every department. The photo guy is doing the ice cream.
Little squeaker.
Yeah. But he was like, yeah, he was just breaking down Rite Aid. And I was like, and I think I'd just been to Rite Aid. So I was like, literally like, I was just there. And there was 2 people like working everything. But
So good.
yeah, just honing in on the character of who he is. When we were at the Improv for your show that you were selling your drawings at, which, by the way, people can get your
yeah.
art where?
Want to say it's store.melissavillaseñor.com.
I'll vamp. You find it. I bought a Melissa Villaseñor original, and it
Which
is.
I was gonna say I'm happy to add color and
Nope.
spruce it
It's-
up.
nope.
It looks just so plain.
No, it's perfect as is. It
'Cause
says.
now I'm adding color.
I think it's a person holding a peanut, and it says, "If you're gonna be a nut, be a good nut." Right?
It says whatever you be a good nut.
And I loved it, and I brought it home to Amanda, and she was like, "I fucking love this," and it was framed. I think it was framed.
Yeah, it was
framed.
already framed. Yeah.
And so it's
yeah, store.melissavillaseñor.com.
store.melissavillaseñor.com. Go there now. store.melissavillaseñor.com. Promo code and no, store.melissavillaseñor.com for all Melissa's original arts and drawings.
Yeah,
do you have to
there'll
get
be more added right now? I
Really?
mean, they'll be added. More prints will be added, but right now there's just T-shirts and stickers at the moment.
Ooh, I gotta get a T-shirt with the
Yeah.
art on it. That's a
Yeah.
good move. Do you sell more of those than the prints?
Well, the last weekend I was on the road was in St. Louis, and I sold a lot of art prints.
Fuck yeah.
Especially the skeleton stuff. People like the skeletons.
Oh yeah.
I have this one of skeletons in a campfire laughing and singing music on a beach.
I love that.
And
So you're just putting skeletons in like everyday situations.
Well, I
Or
mean,
what?
no, I guess so. Well, no, I have one skeleton lady dancing with a cactus.
Cool.
So that's what's on the shirt.
Cool.
Um,
Like I was immediately imagining like a skeleton in line at like a coffee shop, and like somebody
Oh,
taking too long to
I
order,
love
and then a
that.
skeleton with a thought bubble being like, "Just pick something," or like
That's really
I don't know,
funny.
something like.
You know what I did the other night? So I have this. It's sort of a bit, but it's also just reality. I drew this drawing of me out front of a Taco Bell, enjoying because I love their bean and cheese burritos.
So was Amanda.
And the little Chihuahua going, no llores to me. Because there was a night that I bombed so bad at the Laugh Factory. and it pierced my soul to where I was like stuttering on stage. And I
Wow.
was so scared.
Wow.
You know, I don't know. Sometimes
Sure.
that happens.
Yeah.
And then I went to the car and I started crying. I'm like, why did I decide to do this in my life?
Oh God, yeah, everything.
Everything
you
just starts
piggyback.
bang.
Yes.
And so then I went to Taco Bell, I had my burritos, and I felt a lot happier.
Awesome.
So my
big to
friends
know that you. It's big to know in life when you're like, how can I? And for some people it's booze, but you're like, how can I make myself immediately feel better? Taco Bell. Great.
Yeah,
Bean
hey,
and cheese.
better that than doing some hardcore drug and
Fuck yeah.
hurting myself.
1,000. Wait, so do you have a Taco Bell you go to?
That was the one in Burbank.
So you did the drawing. By the way, that's the old school Taco Bell.
I know.
I love
thought
that.
That'd be better.
And what is Ya No Lores?
Don't cry anymore.
Wow.
But what was funny about that night, I had Taco Bell. I was still like on my own nerves, and you're like, ugh.
Yep.
You're like, ugh,
Yep.
I can't stand you right
Yep.
now.
You're waiting for a new day.
Yeah. So that night, I looked in the mirror and I was like, I'm not gonna brush your teeth, and I'm not gonna do your nighttime skincare routine. That's how mad I am.
Wow, you're going to
Go
bed
to
with
bed.
bean and cheese breath, bitch.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And
Good
then
luck
the next
waking up
morning-
scrubbing that fucking bean
That's the
residue off your
thing.
gums.
I brushed my teeth the next morning, and a couple bean shells came out.
Oh my God, bitch, that's so fucking
Bitch.
gross.
Don't
Why-
tell me you didn't have a chalupa.
I had a
one
chalupa.
night
Yeah, well,
after the bachelorette party.
Well, and speaking of that night, that was when I first blew Greg. But it wasn't like a full
Greg.
bleach. I know. I always tell myself, travel more, open a savings account, and don't blow Greg at the parking lot of the Cheesecake Factory. But guess what? We were there. The bachelorette party had taken a turn.
Right. I
But
remember.
you sleeping with bean and cheese burrito breath is like one thing. Try blowing Greg while having beans in your fucking mouth still.
So they're just like flying around in there?
Oh, let's just say I hope he took a shower because he's got a. We call him Beaner now, which sounds racist, but it's because he has a bean wiener. It's weird because he's Jewish too, so everyone's like, "Why do you
That's
call him
funny.
Beaner?" But it's like I'm like, it's a long
It's a
story. It's
long
actually a
story.
short story. I blew him with beans in my mouth.
Man, when did you start doing that character? Because that was before I even met you.
In
You did those
college.
videos of the like.
Did you see the one I did with Beck ever?
No.
Get the fuck out of here. Oh my God, the fact that you love Beck and oh man. So Beck and I, we went to USC together. He was a
Yeah.
sophomore, I think, when I was a senior. And I did one video that I think got a decent amount of views on YouTube of me just on a phone, doing a phone call of like, it was just a bunch of jump cuts of me being like, oh my God, like, are we going to go to Greg's cabin? Oh yeah, he owns a cabin because
Oh
his
yeah,
dad
look at
sells
this big
coke.
knife.
Yeah.
That
Yeah.
video.
Yeah. What if I just killed someone in their sleep or whatever? And then she had the chocolate on her teeth or whatever. I just found Ghirardelli caramel chocolate squares.
Yeah.
And so then I did another one where I went to do a blind date, and Beck was the guy I went on a blind date with, and it's me as the girl, and I'm on the phone with like my friend. I'm like, I have to take this, and he's like, yeah, totally, do your thing. And Beck's just like the perfect straight man. Like, he's like, I work at a bank, and I'm like, oh, so you have lots of money? And he's like, I mean, I work at a bank, I get paid. Okay, I'm like, well, you just said you were rich, and he goes, no, I just said I work at a bank, and I was like, okay, wow, you're lying on the first date, red flag. And at one point I go, I'm on the phone. I go, I have to take this. I go, hi, Kimberly. Yeah, no, he's a fucking loser. And Beck's like, and I go, and then he goes, and then I go, okay. My friend Kimberly says hi. He goes, hi, Kimberly. And I go, what the fuck? I go, I'll call you back.
Oh my
I go,
God.
do you think my friend Kimberly's hot? And he
She's
goes,
insane.
what? Yeah, insane.
But like that's like a true exaggeration. That's like chicks that go extreme.
Yeah. That's the thing too, is like what we're doing
It's
is
so
a heightened
fun.
caricature of a person.
Yeah.
But
Always.
it's a person.
Yeah.
There are, and I think that's why we tap into it, because it's like we've been around, or maybe
Find
even
a little golden nugget and
Yes.
make it explode.
yes, because those conversations. It's like there's just whether we've seen it on, whether it's a version of the Kardashians or some MTV reality show or people at shows or just in comedy clubs, drunk people screaming things out. It's like I think one of the cool things about what we do is, whether we did it innately before we got into it or we developed the skill to absorb,
Yeah,
right? I feel like I absorb, like,
It's
you
just-
know, where you just,
It's just observing.
yeah. And you're a master at that, because when you
Well,
look
I
at,
try to remind myself in the mornings, like I try to just say, just pay attention. Just look around.
Wow.
Because it's all there. I hate when I'm trying to find something funny. When
Yeah.
it's like, no, just sit back and just watch the show.
Yes. Just sit back. Watch the show of life. Good life lesson, Liz. We got a few more minutes left.
Okay.
I know you were talking about naps earlier. Well, we were talking about this pre-show, and I'm trying to start taking more naps.
Good. They're good for you.
They are good for you. You have a great bit about it, and you were saying that I think in the bit, not to misquote you, but like 20 minutes is like a power nap, 2 hours is depression or something.
Yeah.
Do you find yourself? Are you an early riser? Is that why you nap, or do you just find that like life just sometimes what we're doing is we're moving and shaking quite a bit, and I can't believe that I don't fucking crash when I even get off a plane. Sometimes a lot of times I'm off a plane and I'm going to shit right away, and I'm like, what am I doing? Like, go home and chill out.
You have a lot of energy. This must be in your blood, though.
It must be. I think I also enjoy. Yeah, I think I found a gear that I think, and Amanda's helped me slow that down a little bit, but to where it's like, hey, be in bed by 9 tonight, maybe, and even if I don't pass out till 11, be in bed though.
Do you ever just curl up with the book, cozy in bed?
She does. I need to.
Yeah.
No, I think
No,
the last,
you don't. Yeah. But
the last book I read
interesting.
was maybe Where the Sidewalk Ends by Shel Silverstein, and that's not even a book; it's a book of poems. Oh God. I'll be working at a pet store when I'm 50.
When you're on airplanes and all the travels. Oh, by the way, those photos are the best. Those make me pee.
Do they really?
Oh yeah.
Your comments on them make my day.
Man, there's just so many that you're so good. Like just a smirk one, like the guys that have a smirk. You're like,
There was one that I wish I could remember one that you commented on specifically. Did you like the last batch where the woman had 3 necklaces, and I go, the woman who, and then she was like, and I go, the woman who realized she left her 4th necklace in her other bag because she had 3 giant necklaces. But just some people have like just certain faces, and then,
man, how do you do it though?
A lot of people see.
Yeah.
Actually, no, that's not true. That's not true. I'm really stealthy. I have to be in a window seat.
Okay.
And I can't can't be on the aisle because it's too that.
Are you always alone? Or do you have a friend with you on the road too?
Sandy hasn't been able to go with me a lot recently, and the first probably 5-6 years of headlining, I was bringing Sandy and Avery a lot, and I was, to be perfectly frank, almost breaking even.
Yeah.
I wasn't making money because I was early headlining, so my weekend rate was what it was, and then I was like, I bring Avery to do the piano stuff at the end because I was like, I'm really leaning heavy into this.
Yeah.
Which I still love to do, and we still do it in pockets. But then I started to realize too, like that's I don't. Not that you're the music person or you're not, but I was just like, it was taxing on my voice a lot. I'd be doing these hour shows. It wasn't like I was doing 40 and then bringing him up. It was an hour of stand-up, and then him for 20 to 30.
Oh, wow.
And then we would hang and smoke and drink and do karaoke and whatever, and it was awesome. And I don't regret any of that. I don't look back and go.
But the voice.
The voice, it's your. I'm getting way more cognizant of like, I got to protect this. Even my really good buddy Jeremy Shockley, who I think you've met a few times, plays guitar. He said he chimed in on your IG Live recently.
Yeah, I had art drawing live on my art account, and he played a song you wrote after the Taco Bell drawing, and it was so good.
He's incredible.
Yeah.
He's a very kind soul and a great dude, and he adores you. And so he and I have done a bunch of stuff, and even that I've had to scale back because I'm like, man, I don't know if I'm just trying to be more aware of like conserve it because you got to, because the shows, I think I just was like, so I'm invincible. I can do 5 shows and then hang out and then go back to LA and do a week of shows there and like not burn out, but not the case. So yeah, to answer your question, yeah, alone a lot now. And Mandy will try to come on some if it works or it's a new city. But
I love those when you're on the airplane doing those because you're making it fun for yourself too.
Yes, that's exactly what it is.
It's like
it makes me look forward to traveling.
Yeah, it's hilarious.
Because otherwise,
Otherwise, airplanes suck and stuff.
What do you do on a plane?
I mean, I'll bring. Let's see. I mean, I listen to podcasts. If it's if the plane isn't that turbulent, I'll write in my journal.
Cool. You journal a lot. I love that.
Journal. You know, today was a good day.
That was weird. Sorry.
Is that your journal voice?
I think so.
What do you what do you journal about? Stuff like that?
No, it's just whatever its thoughts flowing through. It's
Cool.
just stream of consciousness.
How healthy is that?
It does help because sometimes there's a lot of rubbish I got to clean out.
Yeah.
You know.
It's almost like getting a mental colonic, right?
Yeah, and I'm not someone that I don't let it out enough too, and I should at home. I should sometimes just go, "Yeah, fuck you."
Just scream
Just
in the mirror.
say it, because I don't do that ever.
I like to do it on the plane when someone sits down. Just scream. Just go, ah! And they go.
No.
They go. I'm gonna switch seats. And then I go, well then, fuck you. I don't know. Do you like to talk to people on planes?
No.
Me neither. I used to be. And I would see people in movies chumming it up and even finding the love of their life. And I'm like, anytime I had a woman on a flight once, I'm wearing headphones right away.
Get
And
the
she goes,
sign.
Some
people don't understand.
She goes,
oh no.
and I go, I'm wearing the headphones. So I turn to her, like, do that to me. Go. I'll show you what I did to her. I'm wearing the headphones. Yeah? Because I'm wearing headphones. So I'm like, I'm letting everyone know.
Say?
So she goes, do you think I can go to the bathroom? We were getting ready to take off. She goes, she goes, do you think I should go now or hold it? Oh, I don't know. Welcome back to make your own fucking choice. But I go, I don't know. I go, it seems like we're not taking off yet, so it seems like you could probably go for it. And she goes, I'm going to go for it. I go,
That sounds like my
Do you?
mom.
Yeah.
She puts a decision.
Totally. Oh, she was a mom. She was a mom.
Do you think I should
Yeah.
get the salad or the chicken?
do you think I should ask for the lettuce to be fresh, or do you think the lettuce is going to come out fresh? Oh, boy, there's so much stuff here. Chicken, steak, chicken. Egg rolls? You didn't tell me there were egg rolls here. Jesus, Mom, have you ever been outside at a place where they serve food before? Yeah, so she got up and she went pee before we took off, and then she sat back down and then do it again.
I'm making this lady crazy.
Uh-huh. And then she goes, I did it.
Oh,
I went, and I was like, she goes,
no.
thanks for the encouragement. And I was like, like I'm some sort of pee-pee prince. Like, yeah, good for you, sweetheart. You know. But and then she tried to talk to me a few more times, and then she drank a lot. She had like maybe 4 or 5 Jack and Cokes.
Then it was a lot of.
Then there was a lot of that. A lot of just my favorite.
Take them off.
Yeah, my favorite band. Who's your favorite band? Well, let me go for it. Let me go first. Oh my God! Do you ever just burp into your mouth and taste it, and you're like, ugh. Get me off this. I hope this plane crashes.
I know we're running out of time, but
Yeah.
where did you get that bit where the chick you imitate is at the party? Or I mean, is it the getaway weekend and the group wants to split up?
Oh,
and
yeah.
then the girl gets bothered, like, well, I guess they're going to the mall.
Oh yeah. Oh,
the one that's
if the girls break away. Yeah, it wasn't. You know what's so funny? That whole bit existed, and then I realized I could tie in the no, please don't. There's somebody walking on me, taking a poo, whatever. But the idea of, I think I was around a buddy's wife, and she was talking. They were talking about friends that like they just came and they like broke away. Like it was like we all came here together, bitch. Like they just went to go to do their own thing, and the face she made was so. She goes. Yeah, she goes, they just like left, like, so we literally got to the pool. Like, we're literally at the pool, like, just got there. And she's like, yeah, we're going to go into town and do our own thing. And I was like, okay. And I was like, clocked. She literally, okay. And like was so dumbfounded.
Oh, I love that so much.
Yeah, so that, and then it is just like it's a normal thing that I think everyone but I think especially girls with big groups. And then it was
the
like
ones that are kind of like controlling of like, this is the troop.
and
this
too
is
many
the party
cooks.
troop.
Totally. And and that's why I said I think like 3 is
I don't have
is
any
max.
friendships like that.
More than 5, there's always the people are just going to do their own thing because you have too many people trying to make
It's
decisions.
Too
Yeah.
much. Oh, that's so fun.
Yeah,
I
yeah.
love that.
This was a blast.
It was a blast.
I
and
love you.
I'm really proud of you.
I love
really,
you.
really proud
Thank
of
you.
pal.
Thank you.
Yeah.
I'm proud of you too. And now we're going to go hang and talk about a special that you're trying to put together.
Trying, yeah.
Yeah. I can't wait. It's time.
Today, Tuesday. Oh, yeah.
Doesn't it feel like it's time?
Yeah.
Yeah. You're like in a good zone. Like you're just like
Yeah, I feel like
you've lived a life worth writing about, and you've got an hour, I think, from from pre SNL, post SNL, pre, like even just those early years. You've just like you've probably got so much stuff on the wall to pull from.
Yeah. I think that's where I feel. And
Yeah.
I feel now that there's like a year's passed after being on SNL, there's like fun stories from that I'm talking about.
Yes.
With the impressions, but it's like cool because the
More
bits
substance to it.
Yeah, well,
Yeah.
there's more real. They're real because I got to imitate them and talk to them in front of them. So it's cool to share real stuff.
Fuck yeah. But then also like bringing in like, you know, your Sim stuff, like or Dora thing, right? Like
Oh.
there's always, you got oldies and goodies that like you got to bring in there,
Oh yeah.
right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
For sure.
Even just I think one of your first bits, well, the one about your voice that you would do early on with God. You don't do that anymore?
No.
From time to time, no? About like being on a date with a guy and like,
Oh, I sound like Mickey Mouse or something.
Yeah.
That was an old
Yeah.
one.
about the Joanne Fabrics. That's got to be in there.
No, you're remembering old stuff.
That's got to be in there.
Well, I don't remember what that bit was, Adam.
About getting it. Well, Google yourself. The about getting a late night text.
Oh, and I think it's from a dude, but it's Joanne's 50% off. I forgot about that.
Melissa, I'm texting you that right now. That's so fucking funny, and that's definitely going in. Texting you right now.
I don't know.
Yes, I do know. Hey, bitch, do the Joanne Fabrics bit. It was something about me. I text with a guy, or I think it's a guy. I get a late night text like 2 a.m. and I'm like, ooh, cool. What's Max texting me right now? Maybe a wiener pic, and then it ends up being Joanne Fabrics 50% off arts and crafts, buttons, and paintbrushes. Something like that. I don't fucking remember, bitch, but it's your bit. You have to do it for your special. Okay, bye. Yeah. I love you.
Love you. Thanks, Adam.
Thanks. At Melissa Villaseñor on all socials. Follow her. Go see her live. And store.melissavillaseñor.com.
Yeah, for art stuff.
For art stuff, which is brilliant. And I'll be buying shirts soon. All right.
Bye.
Bye, guys.